CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. London police have charged a massage therapist following an investigation into a sexual assault involving a client. 47-year-old Christian Javier Gutierrez of London was arrested on Thursday. The victim reported she was sexually assaulted during a treatment session at Gutierrez's massage therapy business in the downtown core. Investigators believe there may be additional victims. Leaders from around the region are calling for major investments in high-performance rail across southwestern Ontario. As Brian Bicknell tells us, they're hoping to tap into the federal government's nation-building agenda.
When it comes to better passenger rail service, Canada is missing the boat, according to Woodstock Mayor Jerry Accioni.
If you look at our Asian partners, our European partners who have figured out the rail system and use it so well, where we've been in a road system that obviously is getting worse every single year, we have to make some kind of investments.
He's part of a group of civic leaders along with economic development, tourism, and college and university representatives between Toronto and Windsor. They're calling on the federal and provincial governments to invest in high-performance rail. Now, high-performance rail differs from high-speed rail in that instead of just focusing on faster trains, it aims to create a regional integrated network with more frequent service between cities.
We know that there are international companies that are looking to relocate to regions that have that kind of integrated mobility networks.
Tyler Sutton, London's manager of intergovernmental relations, says the timing is right.
We're pitching this as another nation-building project that will do significant things for us here in southwestern Ontario.
Sarnia's Mike Bradley is not part of the high-performance rail group. The longtime mayor has advocated for better via rail service for decades. He points out one major snag in the plan.
CN controls the tracks. And as long as they control the tracks, we have examples in Sarnia all the time. Passenger train service is delayed significantly, and it makes it unreliable for people to use. Until that changes, nothing substantial will happen as it relates to reliability.
The group is proposing extending the sidings along the corridor track.
That would allow more often CN trains to pull over and allow via passenger rail to move through.
There's also a call for restoration of passenger rail service between Windsor and Detroit. It would include a Canada-U.S. port of entry at Windsor, connecting to Detroit and Chicago, giving passengers access to the Amtrak network in the U.S. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A London family is worried construction of the bus rapid transit system is compromising the structure of their home. CTV's Daryl Newcomb reports.
This deck used to be completely flush here. There wasn't a big gap or anything. It's about an inch lower, so this is falling.
Sean Ann Morris Ryan is worried about the impact bus rapid transit construction is having on her uncle's home that she and her father rent.
When they put the new gas lines in, they tore out the side of the house. The emergency stairs started falling, and they're all tilted now and unsafe to use. And then this part, they basically went on a full stop.
From street level, you can see the amount of erosion. In fact, it's progressed beyond the snow fencing and yellow caution tape installed on the front lawn. It's the most visible erosion among the houses on the north side of Dundas Street, east of Ashland, where retaining walls and most of the front lawns have been removed during construction of the East London Link. The corner of the wooden deck actually sits on an old cement pad, but this pad appears to be at least partially undermined. This is what it looks like from another angle.
Biggest concern is that the house is going to fall over and that me or my child or my dad upstairs are going to be in the house and not just lose everything that we own, but lose our lives.
It was almost 4 years ago when CTV News spoke to concerned neighbors about the road widening. How much property they may lose in this direction. At the time, several neighbors were concerned about the city's plan to take most of their front lawns through purchase or expropriation to accommodate the additional rapid transit lanes. Ward Councillor Susan Stevenson emphasizes the importance of early and effective communication.
It's not just the inconvenience. There's a perceived safety concern that needs to be addressed. exist to provide comfort or address the issue.
The City of London tells CTV News in a statement the project team regularly reviews site conditions throughout construction and will continue to monitor the area as work progresses. Once the necessary infrastructure improvements are complete, the property will be fully restored.
Everything is shifting. In my house, my door doesn't shut consistently anymore because things are a little bit off. We've got a really old house. We've got old floorboards. The nails are popping out of them.
According to the city, the purpose of the excavation is to permit underground utility improvements as well as install a new retaining wall. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Turbulence ahead for WestJet. Flight attendants could walk off the job as early as Sunday if a deal is not reached. Beth McDonnell reports.
WestJet customers are nervous whether they're flying shortly before the deadline.
We changed our flight for today and we're going one way to Vancouver.
Or need to be back home later this month.
We're going to the Philippines. We're only there for 2 weeks. We have no news if that's going to affect our flight.
This afternoon, an update from the airline. The company says negotiations haven't resulted in an agreement, and it must begin the difficult process of parking Boeing 737 planes. This necessary step allows the airline to maintain operational control and protect the integrity of the broader network. Most importantly, this proactive measure minimizes the risk of stranding guests and aircraft. WestJet is allowing passengers between now and Tuesday to cancel their flights or make one-time changes to their bookings.
So if you're someone who needs to catch a cruise, whether it be in Florida or Europe or wherever, and you need to get there, I would probably book a fully refundable flight or find alternative methods just to get there. If you're a week out, yeah, you could probably sit and wait for a few more days.
The cabin crew's main sticking points are over wages and compensation for work when planes are not in the air.
You have to report at the airport an hour before the flight leaves. When you get on the plane, you have to do checks that are mandated by Transport Canada. So these are making sure that all of the safety equipment on the plane is working. Then you have boarding, and during boarding, we're briefing passengers. There's lots and lots of things. You're not paid for the time that you're sitting in between flights.
Air Canada flight attendants went on strike last year for the same reason, the dispute affecting 500,000 passengers. But not all hope is lost. Having a deadline when parties are far apart can allow for the right conditions for a deal, says this labor expert.
The way that it should work is that deadline creates that pressure cooker environment and creates the incentive to sort of knock your heads together and overcome your differences.
Passengers ready to board planes today are feeling relieved.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare if I got it after.
Happy to be on their way before flights could be canceled. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
If you're heading out for the long weekend, expect to see more provincial police officers patrolling highways across the West region. The campaign will focus on speeding, impaired and distracted driving, seatbelt use, and enforcing the Move Over law. During last year's long weekend campaign, officers laid more than 1,400 charges, including 625 for speeding, 47 for impaired driving, and 19 for failing to move over for emergency vehicles. Striking Community Living London workers were making some noise this morning as they took their job action to an East London neighborhood. Protesters lined the sidewalk outside the home of Community Living London Executive Director Michelle Palmer. Security was stationed outside the home and others were videotaping the picket. About 600 OPSU Local 166 are entering the 11th week on strike. The workers are looking for a 6.5% wage bump that was given to other Ontario workers affected by the Ford government's public salary wage freeze. That freeze was overturned by the courts, and many unions negotiated a wage compensation agreement. Employees across the province who support people with developmental disabilities haven't received any compensation. While the union leadership have been sympathetic to Palmer, they say she needs to do more to support the workers.
Locally, we cannot fix this because she does not have the money. And up until now, we have been targeting the government. But it's time for her to step up and join us fighting for the funder to come to the table.
Lambton OPP say one person has died following a single vehicle crash near Elvinston. It happened before 7:30 at the intersection of Courtright Line and Nauvoo Road. A 21-year-old Newbury resident was pronounced deceased at the scene. The investigation continues. Meanwhile, emergency crews rushed to a West London store after a vehicle drove into it this afternoon. Crews were called to this plaza on Springbank Drive around 1:40. Damage to the storefront was significant, with one person suffering minor injuries. The investigation continues. No one was hurt after a fire broke out in a North London home this morning. Crews were called to Franklin Way Crescent in the Wonderland and Fanshawe Park Road area around 8 o'clock. The home was under construction at the time, and there was about $200,000 in damages. An effort to save the oldest wooden lighthouse on the Great Lakes is being transferred to the local historical society. CTV's Sean Irvin has more.
The Port Burwell Lighthouse has stood in this spot for almost 200 years. Once a life-saving beacon for Lake Erie shipping, it is now the heart of Bayham Township.
It is our CN Tower, it is our Statue of Liberty, it is our Eiffel Tower.
But unlike those structures, this one is teetering on the brink. In 2022, an engineering report set off alarms. The following year, the lighthouse was compared to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The municipality was forced to act to keep it from toppling. But in the wake of over $1 million of debt acquired from the controversy surrounding the arrival of the HMCS Ojibwe, Bayham Council was hesitant to spend nearly $2 million to save the lighthouse.
It's a question of how far do you press your taxpayers? We don't want to.
Enter the Port Burwell Historical Society. Its members convince council they are in the best position to save the structure before it's too late. But the timelines to get the ball rolling for the restoration of the lighthouse are tight. Believe it or not, a lot of money has to be raised by August 5th. To meet a match for a federal grant, more than $100,000 is needed.
That grant can fund us for $1 million.
It is a lot of steps to climb to reach the top. And if there is a slip, the municipality has the first right of refusal to get the lighthouse back.
It's simply saying if you can't carry on and can't go forward, give it back to us.
But it's hoped that will not be necessary as light shines once again on and from the historic structure.
The goal is that this structure will be here for the community for years and years to come. We can't forget our history, and we need to save it.
In Port Burwell, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A London father is preparing to walk from London to Queen's Park in an effort to get a surgery that could dramatically improve and prolong his daughter's life. Jerry Dewan has more.
Joe Gasoldi will be walking 200 kilometers from London to Queen's Park, pushing his daughter's empty wheelchair to raise funds for Sydney's neurosurgery.
No father should have to go to this extreme measure to raise money to get surgery out of country.
Sydney was injured in July of 2023. Her vehicle was stopped at a red light here at Byron and Warrencliffe when she was hit from behind. Then 24, she suffered a catastrophic neck injury, with her neck no longer being able to support her head. The damaged area continues to degenerate with growing impacts.
Lately, I've started having dysphagia symptoms, trouble swallowing, I'm choking more on food and pills when I take my medications, and having fine motor control issues, losing feeling in some of my limbs sometimes. So just very scary symptoms.
Sydney has had consultations with a New York neurosurgeon who is ready to do a procedure that would repair damaged vertebrae in her neck and protect her spinal cord. Joe and Kim Gasoldi say they were blindsided when OHIP refused funding for the $500,000 procedure.
We thought that was a no-brainer. We thought that once we figured out what was wrong, that we would automatically be okay.
The Gasoldi say they have met other families facing the same challenge.
It's bigger than us, and right now, you know, we want to be the face of it, but we also want to bring awareness. So there's a lot of people that are suffering with this out there.
Sydney says she's thankful for the efforts of her family and others, but doesn't think it should be necessary.
I just feel very grateful to have parents that are willing to do this for me, but of course at the same time, I feel kind of mixed emotions because they shouldn't have to do this.
The 6-week Miles for a Miracle walk starts on Tuesday. The first leg of Joe Gasolli's walk will start at his home in South Central London and bring him here to Victoria Park. The walk will finish with a news conference at Queen's Park, with Sydney taking part. They'll be calling on the provincial government to review OHIP policies and appealing for transparency when it comes to how decisions are made. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Coming up, seniors searching for a sweet treat find something far more fruitful. Canadian and American markets moved in opposite directions to end the week. In Toronto, the TSX lost 280, and in New York, the Dow gained 277, while the Nasdaq added 252. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.08 of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold fell almost $54 an ounce, and oil gained $1.08 a barrel. To some developing news tonight, after international outrage and condemnation, the head of FIFA is backing off a controversial plan to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors. FIFA President Gianni Infantino saying late tonight that the proposal created divisions of a nature that are no longer in the interest of the objective that had been set out, and it would not be moving forward. Earlier this week, Infantino had unveiled a $20 billion investment plan to create a subsidiary to control the commercial and operational aspects of the World Cup. We're premiering a new episode of Leading London with Carlisle Fazette this week. This time he's in conversation with the executive director and CEO of Museum London. Here's a clip from that conversation.
A challenge across the board right now in all industries is just the rising cost of everything.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned diversifying. It sounds like the revenue streams for the museum has been an important part. So how would you describe the current financial sustainability of the operation right now if you're looking at the cost of things, infrastructure, aging, all those sorts of aspects for a big facility like Museum London?
I think one of the nonprofits are flexible, and creativity is kind of like baked in. And so another factor at Museum London is many, many years of good stewardship on the part of management and the board and dedicated philanthropists. So Museum London is in a pretty stable financial position, and we have a lot of really positive momentum. Of course, we're looking to evolve and grow all the time. And so we are making moves to rekindle, or for the first time, create partnerships with new kinds of sponsors, new kinds of program offerings, to continue to diversify our model.
How much of that is a pitch, and how much of that is interest coming to you saying, we want to work with you?
I think it's like an equal measure.
Okay.
And it's really important to us to find partners where we have alignment in terms of our values, in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. So that's been interesting. I mean, there are a lot of people and a lot of corporations who are interested in supporting education initiatives right now, who are interested in supporting creativity and critical thinking and some of the things that I've been talking about that are impacts of our programs.
For the full interview, you can head to our website, ctvnewslondon.ca, and click on Leading London.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. After a beautiful few days across southern Ontario, our temperatures are going to climb, the humidity will build, and we are tracking two weather makers that will bring instability into play just in time for the long weekend. This big one that will push through Saturday night into Sunday has some embedded thunderstorm activity as well. I'll break down the timing coming up right after the break.
Rita joins me now on the desk. Rita, it's been so beautiful. Is that going to be sticking around for the long weekend?
Unfortunately not, Lauren. We actually have the complete opposite. I know. We were spoiled the last couple of days. Sunny conditions, comfortable, minimal moisture. But as we head into the weekend, our temperatures are climbing, the humidity will rise, and we have a couple of weather makers that are going to cross through. And with that, we will be dealing with some instability both Saturday and Sunday. Today, though, we hit a high of 30 degrees. It was nice and warm under all that sunshine. High pressure in play felt about 35 with the humidity. Normal this time of year is 26, record high 35 back in 1999, record low 8 in 1964. Heading into the night, those clouds are starting to build, and again, that's thanks to two separate weather makers. We have a low pressure system sitting to the north. It's going to swing by, and with that, we'll see Midwestern Ontario deal with some pop-up showers, possibility for some thunderstorms even for Saturday. For us here in London and to the south of the 401, it's this big weather maker sitting stateside. As it pushes through tomorrow into Sunday, we will be in and out of showers and some embedded thunderstorm activity. And the thing with this system is lots of cloud cover, some pop-up rain Saturday, not a complete washout, some breaks of sunshine, but depending where you are, you could be falling under heavy rainfall and those embedded thunderstorms. And it's really hard to predict exactly when that's going to happen Saturday because it's all based on just how warm and humid it's going to get. Sunday, though, we have more widespread rain, and you can see that here overnight Sunday into Sunday morning. Heavy rainfall, severe thunderstorms possible as well right into your morning on Sunday. Then there's a bit of a break in the afternoon, and then we could be dealing with some wraparound rainfall Sunday evening. But the bulk of that system that will push through on Sunday will be overnight into the early morning hours. So I guess that's kind of good news because Sunday won't be as rainy. Saturday, though, again, mainly cloudy tomorrow. Some peaks of sunshine. Around noon, climbing to 28, feeling like 33, 35. Depending on where you are, the storm risk is there as that humidity builds and those systems cross over the Great Lakes. So in London, 28 the high for Saturday. Showers possible depending on where you are. Heading into Sunday, the probability increases. Most of that system pushing through overnight, so we will be getting up to 15-20 millimeters of rain Sunday overnight into the day side. 26 and beautiful on holiday Monday, so that's good news. Lots of sunshine for Tuesday, and then warming up 29 on Wednesday. The chance of rain returns a week from today. Midwestern Ontario, similar conditions in store for you. However, the storm risk probability is higher for Saturday as that humidity builds and that system to the north swings through. You could see a pop-up thunderstorm throughout the morning Saturday. Sunday, periods of rainfall in and out throughout the day into the afternoon, and then Monday, Tuesday, absolutely beautiful summer temperatures. This is the first full weekend of August. I wish I had better news for you in terms of dry conditions, but we are going to make the best of it. Lauren?
Thanks, Rita. They say art is in the eye of the beholder, and it's fair to say not everyone is blown away by 3 giant plastic rocks recently installed in Saskatoon. The city is defending spending almost $300,000 on the sculptures. As CTV's Alison Bamford tells us, the project certainly has people talking.
Shining in the summer sun, Saskatoon's newest art installation is hard to miss, and even harder for some to wrap their heads around.
It seems kind of outrageous to me a little bit.
This rock is made of plastic, and 3 of them cost the city nearly $300,000.
Yeah, it is a bit hard to digest. Something so expensive.
The rocks were formed from plastic waste, using grain bags, bottle caps, and garbage bins. They're placed at different spots across the city, meant to draw attention to environmental sustainability and waste reduction.
I think it's a great idea. We spend money on other things, so why not on public art?
I'm okay with putting money into art. I just would like to know if this is art.
Thousands of hours of specialized work went into creating these sculptures crafted by 2 Calgary artists. Isis Campbell supports public installations, but the art major wishes the city sourced local artists for the job.
There's so many artists here, and it's kind of hard to get work.
The city says the Calgary artists were selected through a competitive process, and the project's price tag was under the allocated budget for public art. All this talk about rocks will likely continue. One Saskatoon city councillor plans to bring up the city's public art budget at the next council meeting.
I think the frustration and the response that we're getting from the community is valid. I've expressed my concern about the amount that this capital art program allocates, and I would like to see the percentage coming down.
A rocky start for the sculptures that just rolled on to the city's art scene. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A wallet lost a long time ago has made it back into the hands of the owner's family.
We think somebody may have taken it and tucked it into the wall or in the floorboards. I think she'd be very excited that it was finally found after 50-plus years.
High school librarian Catherine Regan lost it in 1972, and it was recently found during renovations at a school. Inside it were a number of photos of her 3 children. The 3 now quite grown up say it's meaningful to see their pictures in the wallet, knowing their mom always kept them close. Finally tonight, you don't have to go far from home to have a great adventure. CTV's Adam Swatsky meets a group of seniors searching for a sweet treat, and they ended up finding something even better.
We find our heroes, these octogenarians and their caregivers, in the midst of a quest.
We're going for a walk in the wind to look for blackberries.
Their journey, stretching more than one whole back alley block, features resilient gardens and is fueled by fun.
And we come here to have fun and be silly.
Sue says that means telling the sorts of bad jokes that always make this bunch feel better.
Lots of laughter. Yeah.
Lots of bouquet building too, until, like all great adventures, our explorers face an unexpected detour.
One of the trees over here is a wish tree.
While Aria directs them to a tree blooming with others' wishes, our heroes are inspired to reflect on their own.
I wish.
Lee, along with Vic and David, wish to ease what physically ails them and to have more days ahead of them than behind. But they also wish for you to realize, far sooner than they did, what life is really all about.
I think to make the most that you can of every moment.
And make sure that as many of those moments as you can are spent with the ones you love the most.
And to be kind as often as you can.
And when life doesn't unfold the way you'd hoped, like when your quest for blackberries leads to only unripened red ones,
be cheerful and happy, because there's no point in being otherwise.
And seeing as they've traveled so far, why not summon the courage to bite into one of those berries anyway?
How's it doing?
How is it?
Very sour.
Really, really sour. Crunchy.
A feeling that ends up being far sweeter than the alternative.
It made us all giggle.
Made us laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what life is about.
And that's how, after turning a seemingly fruitless quest into a fruitful one, our heroes embark back home victorious. Adam Swatsky, CTV News.
That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a great weekend.